Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 tattoos with amazing backstories. So nowadays, pretty much everyone has tattoos. Some people's are nice and subtle, while others go way too far. Well, these are some really nice tattoos with amazing meanings that may make you cry. Before we get into them, be sure to subscribe and press the notification bell to never miss a video. Coming in at number 10 we have Laugh. So this one is kind of sad but also kind of nice. One day a dad had a newborn baby. When the baby was born, it laughed. However, just hours later the baby passed away from sudden infant death syndrome. Now this is incredibly sad, and you may be thinking the dad has nothing to remember his baby with as it died so suddenly. Well, that is where you would be wrong. As I said, the baby laughed as soon as it was born. Well, the dad was actually recording the birth, which picked up the sound of the baby laughing. He later took the waveform from this recording and made it into a tattoo. He got the waveform of his baby's laugh tattooed right on his heart. He said it was incredibly painful to deal with his baby son dying. However, this tattoo serves as a great coping mechanism and a fantastic way to remember his son. Now this one is incredibly sad, but also kind of nice. The dad actually has something to remember his kid by. If this doesn't bring a tear to your eye, then I don't know what will. Next up is Human Canvas. So this is another case of a son leaving something behind on a father's body. In this case, the son didn't pass away, but it's still a very good story. One guy named Keith Anderson has a son named Kai. Ever since Kai was 5 years old, he's been big into art. And the first picture Kai ever drew was a house for his dad. It was a blue and yellow house with a slide on it, and it said Kai on top. Well, this made Keith smile so much he never wanted to forget it. But instead of just putting his kid's art on the fridge like most parents, Keith tattooed it onto his arm. That's right, he took Kai's drawing to his tattoo artist and got it tattooed. Kai is constantly drawing things for his father, so this is very nice. However, Keith then decided to make this into a tradition. He says now every year he'll get something Kai drew tattooed on his body. And he says he won't stop doing this until Kai wants him to. Wow, in a few years he's going to be covered in tattoos. He'd better hope Kai doesn't get too good, otherwise the tattoo artist might not be able to replicate it. But seriously, this is a very nice story between a father and son. Next up is The Last Book. So, from the Laugh waveform tattoo, we know dealing with loss is very difficult. Well, the father of one daughter unfortunately passed away one day. He passed away while he was reading a book called All the Pretty Horses, but he never got to finish it. To honor his memory, his daughter finished off the book, but she did way more than just that. She also got the title of the book, All the Pretty Horses, and the page he was on, which was 128, tattooed on her arm. This is a great and very tasteful way to remember her dad. She says she was very sad when he passed away, but now she can look down at her tattoo and remember him. And she also said it's a great coping mechanism and really helps her deal with the pain. This is a sad story, but it's nice the father's book didn't go unfinished and was even tattooed on her permanently. And now 128 will always be a special number for this girl. Next up is Scar. People who have to deal with medical surgeries are very brave, but what's even braver is children who have to deal with medical surgeries. Well, one kid named Gabriel Marshall had brain surgery, which left him with a big scar and no hair. He was happy he survived the surgery, but he was very upset with his scar and bald head. And Gabriel said he thought he looked like a monster. So, to make Gabriel feel better, his dad named Josh Marshall decided to get a tattoo matching his scar exactly. He shaved his head and got the tattoo in the same shape of his son's scar. That way their hair can grow back together. This means Gabriel is not all on his own during this very difficult time. Of course, eventually hair will grow back over both of their scars. But for the time being, it means Gabriel doesn't have to be alone in this struggle. This went viral and people called Josh the most amazing dad ever. There's no denying this is a great sign of solidarity and something very special. Would you do this for your son if you were in Josh's situation? Next up is You'll Never Walk. So this story comes from a guy who was in the Royal Marines named Andy Grant. Now, his favourite football team is Liverpool FC, and their motto is You'll Never Walk Alone. To show he was such a big Liverpool FC fan, he got their logo and their motto tattooed on his leg. However, while serving in the Royal Marines, an IED blew his leg off. This left the tattoo saying You'll Never Walk. Now at first you may think this is kind of sad or even kind of dark humour, but instead of repairing this tattoo, he used it as a massive motivation. He actually used it as motivation to get up and walk. But now he does way more than just walk. In fact, he's run many 10Ks in only 40 minutes. And he's even almost beaten the record for amputees. He's been in the media and many people have offered to repair his tattoo free of charge. However, he said he doesn't want it repaired as it simply gives him more motivation to get up and live life by the fullest. And he sure is motivation that you can get over anything. Next up is backbone. So we all know the saying you have no backbone. It means you can't be relied on. Well, one woman thought this about herself. She had terrible self-esteem issues and eating disorders her entire life. However, when she hit the age of 22, she learned to love herself. She realized the good in her and got over her self-esteem issues and eating disorders. To symbolize this, she got a backbone tattooed where her backbone is. This was to demonstrate that she can stand up for herself and rely on herself. Many people used to bully her in school, but now she won't be letting that happen. This really is a great tattoo and symbolizes how much she's overcome. She also said it's a massive reminder of how self-confident she is. And I agree, because you'd have to be pretty confident to get a tattoo that big. What do you think about this very powerful and motivating tattoo? Next up is Final Letter. So this one is incredibly sad and powerful. This girl named Morgan lost her dad at a very young age. She was too young to be around when he passed away. But when he was on his deathbed, he wrote a letter to Morgan's mom saying goodbye. However, the last line of the letter said, "Tell Morgan I love her." When Morgan was old enough to realize this, she was very sad. However, she was also thankful she had something to remember her dad by, and also a memento that her dad loved her very much. So when she turned 18, she decided to get that tattoo saying, "Tell Morgan I love her." That's right, she got the tattoo of the last sentence of her father's last letter on her arm. It's a very nice memento and allows her to always remember her father. She said this way her father's memory is always with her whether he's alive or not. Next up is 65 roses. So many people get roses tattooed on them just because they look nice. But what could be the meaning behind getting 65 roses tattooed on your arm? Well, for this woman it involves a very funny and nice story. When she was younger, she had a disease called cystic fibrosis. However, as you know, many children can't pronounce certain words, so she pronounced cystic fibrosis as 65 roses. Her parents and her would often joke about this, until she overcame it. When she overcame her condition, she got 65 roses tattooed on her arm. This was to remind her to be thankful of life and to never take it for granted. It was also to show people that she was strong and has overcome a lot. And what's more, it's a reminder that she shouldn't be ashamed of her scars. Getting over the condition left a lot of scars, however these roses helped to cover them up and make them look beautiful. What do you think about this very powerful tattoo? Next up is important arms. So we've seen people who have got very important tattoos on their arm. However, one chef named Michael Chernow got 2 tattoos on 2 arms, and they both represent something very, very special to him. On his left arm, he got a tattoo of his dog named Duke. His dog has since passed away, but he said his dog was more like a son than a pet to him. So to honor his dog and remember it, he got it tattooed on his arm. And on his right arm is some orchid flowers. Now, he didn't get this because flowers in his backyard passed away. He got it because it's his mom's favorite flower. And he says now, every time he goes to visit his mom, it's like bringing her a fresh batch of orchids. Next up is Puppet. This tattoo belongs to a jewelry designer named Nisa Juan. If she puts her hand at the right position, it looks like she's controlling a puppet. She says the puppet's supposed to be her. The tattoo is about the loss of love and being reborn, and she says it represents the idea that she is the one who's in control of herself. This is a great motivator and gives her a whole bunch of self-esteem. Next up is Team Greengrass. A few years back, a guy named Joel Greengrass was diagnosed with MS. MS, or multiple sclerosis, is a very scary disease which affects many people. When Joel found out about this, him and his family decided to make something called Team Greengrass. Through doing various different sporting events, Team Greengrass has raised over $150,000 for MS. This has not only helped Joel, but millions of other people in America and around the world. And to honor his family and their charity, Joel got a Team Greengrass tattoo. And he got it right on his arm muscle to show that him and everyone else battling MS is very, very strong. Check out the poll in the top right corner to vote for the most amazing tattoo on this list. And check out my second channel for more amazing videos. There'll be a link to that channel on screen in a moment, so click it to check it out. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now, leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what you're waiting for, subscribe to Top 10s.